Hello everyone, just let me know whether my voice is clearly audible and screen is visible to you or not. Okay, thank you. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes and then we will start our today's discussion, today's practical session. Okay. Only 7 participants have been joined so far. We will just wait for a few more to join us and then we will start our today's session. Okay, so good afternoon to all. In earlier sessions, we have seen the virtual labs. So you have to type vlab.co.in, the address bar, and then you have to open this virtual lab site. Once you do that, whatever we're discussing, it comes under the broad area of electronics and communication. So you have to click on that, electronics and communication. So different labs will be available to you. So out of these various labs, we have seen initially for our initial practical sessions, we have seen basic electronics lab by IIT Kharagpur. So basically from this lab, we have studied the analog related practicals, and one more lab we have seen, that is digital electronics lab, in bracket it is written as new, and IIT Roorkee. So from this particular lab we are performing the practicals related to digital electronics. So when you click on this particular thing, window will appear, and many tabs are available here: introduction, objective, list of experiments, target audience, course alignment, and feedback. So when you move towards list of experiments, in this list of experiments, you can observe total 12 experiments are there. Most of these experiments, I think we have already discussed. So you can just note down whichever experiments we have discussed. So we have discussed experiment number 1, verification and interpretation of truth tables for AND, OR, NOT, NAND, NOR, XOR, and XNOR gates. Then second practical also we have seen for an X gates. A third we have completed as well, is to study and verify half and full practical. And we have not seen fourth one. Okay. First 3 we have seen. Then 7. Okay. No. Okay. Sorry. 7. 6. Experiment number 6 we have seen, that is verification of truth table of RS, JK, T, and D flip flop. Just note this, that this practicals we have seen. I will just note here first, second, third. Then sixth also we have seen. Ninth we have seen in the last session, implementation of 4:1 multiplexer and 1:4 demultiplexer. Okay. Mm, that's it, I think. Is there any more? That's it. Total 5 we have seen. And from analog part, we have seen 2 experiments: inverting, non-inverting, and common emitter configuration. Input-output characteristics of common emitter configuration. That was from Basic Electronics Lab by IIT Kharagpur. This is from Digital Electronics Lab by IIT Khuragpur. Am I right? These many practicals we have covered. Okay. So in today's discussion, we will again cover a couple of practicals from this list only. So in this list, you can observe we have completed the design and verification of 4-bit synchronous or asynchronous counter have been there. Okay, 4-bit synchronous and asynchronous. So out of this, we are not worried about synchronous. Okay, because it is not in our syllabus. So experiment number 10, we will study in partial. Okay, so you have to design an flip-flop. So just note this, that within this lab or within this practical, only one part we have to perform, that is asynchronous counter. And one more we will discuss, that is practical number 7. It is design and verification of 4 shift register. Okay, so recently we have covered this topic in the theory session. So in today's experiment or in today's session, we will see these 2 experiments, experiment number 7 and experiment number 10. Of course, we will see number 10. It is basically design. So I will just click on that particular experiment, design and verification of 4-bit synchronous or asynchronous counter. So in actually theory session, we have discussed regarding 2-bit asynchronous counter and 3-bit asynchronous counter as well. Okay. While discussing mod 10 counter, we have seen 4-bit asynchronous counter and we have skipped 6 states of it. Right. So actually we have discussed it in our theory session, but in mod 10 counter. So since it is 4-bit asynchronous counter, so how many states will be possible? How many counts will be possible? It is 4-bit asynchronous counter. Then how many states it should count? Anyone? Two raised to power n, right? So here n is nothing but 4. 4-bit asynchronous counter will have 4 flip-flops in it. So 2 raised to power 4 will be 16 counts will be possible. So again, there are different aim, theory, pretest, procedure and simulation part. So if you click on the theory, then the theory will be available to you. Okay, so definition of counter and then classification of counters also it is given, asynchronous and synchronous counter. The asynchronous counter we have seen, that was T counter, T flip flop, using T flip flop we have seen. So basically T flip-flop is nothing but when you connect J and K terminal, when you connect or when you short circuit these two terminals of JK flip-flop, then it becomes T. So this is one and the same. Okay. And again, it is the important point that in asynchronous counter, we don't use universal clock. That means external clock, we are not applying simultaneously to each and every flip-flop. The external clock is applied to only first flip-flop, only this first flip-flop. The output of first flip-flop is given as the clock to second, and similarly, output of second is given as clock to third, and output of third is given as clock to fourth. So this arrangement is nothing but asynchronous because you are not applying clock simultaneously to all the flip-flops. You are applying actually the clock one after the other. So this arrangement is nothing but asynchronous counter. Again, waveforms are there already. In synchronous counter, okay, so synchronous counter is not in our syllabus and we have not studied it either, but we have studied the counter using shift register. Okay, so those counter are also a kind of synchronous circuit, but in actual synchronous counter is somewhat different. So what the counters which we have studied, that was nothing but it was an application of shift register counter. But this is another total different topic is there. So that's why it is not mentioned in our syllabus. So don't worry about it. Then you can decide whether you are compatible with this theory or not by using pretest. Then procedure is also given here. So I will just read a few points in the procedure. We are interested in asynchronous counter, okay? So you have to just read these steps. Few steps are mentioned. So step number 1 is you have to press switch to supply 5 volt to the circuit. One switch will be there. You have to give 5 volt supply to that circuit. The switch will be on if it is in this position. If it is pressed at 1, then the switch will be on, and if it is pressed at 0, then it will be off. Step number 2, you have to press the counter button. One counter button is provided in the simulation part, and you have to press that button to start the counter. Different combinations of LED will lit up for different combinations of input. So when you press this counter button, what will happen after first press or second press, the corresponding combinations, or for different combinations, the LED will be off and on. Okay, so this is regarding the third point, and the corresponding data you have to input it to the truth table. Then step number 4 is you have to repeat step number 2 and 3 for another set of data. And then once your truth table is completed, then you have to generate the waveform. After that, you have to click on the print and you can save your print, which will consist of truth table and timing diagram. Okay, so we will see it one by one. Don't worry about it. So when you click on the simulation part, so in simulation, you can clearly observe there are two tabs available: asynchronous counter. In asynchronous, we are interested in asynchronous counter only and not in synchronous counter. Okay, so we will click on asynchronous counter. When you do that, one circuit will be there. It consists of some ICs, so don't worry about ICs. But in between that, you can observe JK flip-flops have been used. Okay, so this is nothing but J and K terminals, and these flip-flops are negatively edge triggered. Okay, it is written here that these flip-flops are negatively edge triggered clock. So I will just mention here that we'll just show you 4 different flip-flops. Where are they actually localized? So this was your first JK flip-flop, this is second, third and fourth. If the inputs are connected, J and K connected, it is nothing but T flip-flop only. Okay. Anyway, you have to just observe the outputs of all these flip-flops, Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. So these LEDs are quite important. You have to observe the status of these LEDs, whether it is on or off. Depending on the count, it will change its status. Okay. So we will now start our actual experiment. So at any point, if you are not aware of the instruction, you can see on here and you can read all the instructions. So first is you have to keep the switch on. So one switch is here. So it is basically a power supply switch. So you have to keep it on 1. So now power supply has been given to your circuit. Okay. Now this green button is given here. So this green button is nothing but a counter button. Currently your count is 0. So you have to simply click on this count. So that counter will go on increasing from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 15. Since our counter is 4-bit counter, so maximum number of states will be 16 total states will starting from 0 to 15. Okay, so I am just pressing this particular counter button. I am clicking on this counter button, and what you have to do, you have to just observe the status of LEDs Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. So initially you can observe all these LEDs are in off state. So as soon as I press this counter button, then observe what is happening here. Okay, 1 second. Yes, now you can observe initially for first count it was 0. So automatically this truth table is recording your count. So initially all the outputs were 0, 0, 0. So after first clock signal, your counts were in the 0 state. So then I have pressed it one more time. So now here it is showing as 2. And if you observe the status of LEDs, now Q0 is 1. So from this truth table, it is directly noting this down. Okay, you have to just press on the count itself. As soon as you press on the count, the corresponding status of these LEDs will change, and depending on its, add one more line. Okay, so now after the application of second clock, you can read here from this truth table. Now our status becomes 0001. That is nothing but first count. I am again clicking on this particular count button. So just observe what are the changes. Okay, so now my count is 3, and the position, if you observe Q3, Q2, now Q1 is LED, Q1 is on, whereas Q0, Q2 and Q3 are off. So same thing is directly noted here. So Q1 is basically 1. So that means initially, if you observe the binary equivalent for this 4-bit, it is nothing but 2. I will just write for you. Initially it was 0, then 1, and now it is 2. Very simple experiment this is. Now I am again clicking on the counter button. When you do that, The counter will show 4, counter button will display 4, and now Q1 and Q0 are both are on. On are nothing but its values are, their values are 1 1. You can observe here Q1 is 1 and Q0 is also 1. So effectively this count will become 3, but after the application of fourth clock pulse. Okay. Similarly, now I am changing the counts, and our next count will be 5. Okay. Then 6, 7, 8. You can observe the status of LEDs are changing continuously. It is 8, then 9, and these lines are also added here automatically. Okay. How many counts are possible? 16, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 16. So once you press the counter button, you can observe the truth table will be there having 16 readings. You can observe last reading is 1111. Okay, so last reading is basically 1111. So we have started with 000 and now our last is 111. That is from decimal point of view, it is from 0 to 15. So total 16 states are possible from 0 to 15. You can also generate this waveform. You have to simply press on this generate waveform button, which is available here. When you do that, whichever the truth tables or whichever the data field in the truth table, it will generate waveform using this truth table data. Okay, so I am pressing on the generate waveform. You can observe the waveform have been generated. First waveform is of clock. The first waveform, this waveform is nothing but clock signal. So since our circuit is negatively edge trigger, you can observe at negative edge, the status of all the flip-flops will change. So actually, the clock is given at flip-flop 1 only. Okay, this clock is nothing but given as first flip-flop or first T flip-flop, because this G is also operating in toggle mode. So what is toggle mode? We have already known that whatever the initial value, whenever you are operating your in toggle mode, then the output state will, it means it will change its state. If it is initially 0, then it will change it to 1, and if it is initially 1, then it will change it to 0. Okay, so you can observe either the transition from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, all these transitions are happening at the negative edge of this clock. Okay, this is regard, that is output of first flip-flop. Now this Q0 is nothing but clock signal for Q1. This Q0 is clock signal for Q1. So you can observe for each negative edge, the Q2 will change its state from 0 to 1, either from 0 to 1 or from 1 to 0. Why? Because these are connected in toggle mode. Again, Q2 is given as the, Q1 is acting as a clock to Q2 or flip-flop 3, third flip-flop. So basically our first flip-flop was Q0, then Q1 and then Q3. So again you can observe for Q3, Q2 will be acting as a negatively or negative clock. So basically you have to apply your whatever the changes will be there, that changes will happening along the negative edge of Q1. Okay. So again, this Q2 is applied to the Q3. So Q2 is acting as a clock too. So again, you have to first mark the negative edges. Once you do that, then whatever the changes are happening in Q3, that will be along with these negative edges only. So this is actually, we have already seen it in theory session, but again it will be more clear to you once you perform this practical. And once you do all this process, then you can simply take a print of it. So when you click on the print, then you can store this particular output and waveforms, truth table with the circuit diagram. It can be stored in the form of PDF as well. Okay, so you can do this. So I will wait here for a couple of minutes. If you are having any problem, then you can ask me. It's actually very quite simple and instructions are already given there. So you have to just follow the instructions. So in case of you are having any query, then you can ask me. Otherwise, we will proceed with the next experiment. We will take here just 5 minute break. You can write for yourself and then we will start second experiment. Okay. So I hope you are having any query or any doubt regarding this practical. So now we will this practical. So you have to just perform the synchronous part in this particular experiment. Okay. Don't go for synchronous part. All right. So now in the same lab, we will see one more practical. That is practical 7. Okay, design and verification of 4-bit serial in parallel out shift register. Okay, so I wow, waveforms in print. So maybe you have to arrange the margins a little bit. So anyway, if it is low, then there is no problem. If truth table is there, just set your margins as minimum or narrow. Then the PDF will be generated clearly. The landscape or landscape view also. But anyway, that is not important. If you are having in your PDF, you are having truth tables also and there as well. So don't worry whether it is showing half or full waveform. It doesn't matter. And we will start with uh, scaling parallel out shift register. So we will click on design and verification of 4-bit serial in parallel out shift register. All right. So this is similar. So when we theory, so in theory there is actually theory regarding serial in output parallel out shift register. To go to the theory, forms are also given. How actually this data has been moving from serial in parallel output, it is mentioned here. Okay, so been shifted the left side bit by bit. Okay, it is shifting in a bit by bit fashion or in serial fashion. You can observe that. And finally, simultaneously, you are collecting at the output it is in parallel, is parallel, but inside the register it is transmitted serially. So hence it is called a serial in, parallel out. Okay, then you can go to this. But again, generalized diagram has been shown here. In generalized, they have consistencies for n-bit serial in parallel out. So last flip-flop is nth flip, and it will start from fourth flip-flop. So parallel side. So from here, okay, data is collected. So basically, in this diagram, basic data is transmitted along this fashion. That is towards your left side. In the theory session, which we have seen, the right side. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So here you can assume that data is flowing serially from this direction. is from right to left. From right to left. All right. So this is again procedure given, pre-test is also given, so it will be few MCQs based on the same topic. So you can try these MCQs. Procedure mentioned here. So this is the procedure actually. Few steps are mentioned. So total 9 steps are there. So we'll just see what are the steps. Step number 1 is you have to connect the supply. So this is the symbol of supply. So you have to click on this supply first. Okay, when you are performing simulation, you have to click on this supply first, and then only your power supply will be given to your circuit. Then second step is you have to keep reset and preset. So while discussing in theory class, we have seen that flip-flop will have the in as well as output. In case, let's say we are discussing D flip-flop, then one input terminal will be there and one output will be there. Basically, there are two outputs, Q and Q bar, and clock signal is also there, whether it is the positivist, negativist figure. Apart from these two, there are reset and preset terminal. So one is reset terminal, which will reset the output to Q equals to 0, and one preset terminal will be there, which will set the output Q equals to 1. Okay, so preset is Q equals to 1 and reset is Q equals to 0. So step number 3 is you have to apply the data input. A switch is given here, you have to apply the data. If it is pressed at 1, then it will be taking the data as 1, and if it's 0, then you have to note it as, and the clock pulses also you have to set accordingly. You have to observe the LEDs, different LEDs you have to observe. Okay, so step number 5 is you have to then press add button and you have to add the data in given truth table. The next one is you have to apply the data and the data input, and you have to go through these all steps, and finally you can take the print. Okay. So we will move directly towards simulation part. So you can read the instructions from here as well. So instructions are available on this page as well. This is basically a circuit diagram for verification of 4-bit serial in parallel out shift register. So again here you can observe 4 D flip-flops have been used here. This is first, this is second, third, and this is fourth. All these flip-flops are D flip-flops. Okay. This is our data input. That means whichever the sequence you want to pass, you have to give this sequence along with this line. Since it is serial in, parallel out, so there will be only single input terminal will be there, and that is our input terminal. So this data input is our input terminal, and the data will be transmitted serially. Okay, so let's, for the sake of just for the understanding purpose, we will take an example of, suppose 0101. This sequence of 4-bit shift 4-bit reading parallel out register. So let's assume our data is 4 bit and we have to transmit this one to one bit. There are two more terminals, reset and preset is available here, but don't worry about it. You don't have to take care of it. Just let it as it is. Don't change it. Clock is so you want to whenever you are applied the data input, then you have to press this knob. You have to give the clock. Again, these are the parallel outputs. These parallelly. So Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, these are nothing but bits of your output Q1 and Q0. These are basically output of your four different D flip flops. So Q3, Q2, Q1, and Q0. These are the four different outputs. So initially they will be off in off state, but whenever you are giving input, then you have to observe the changes in this particular output. Okay, so now we will see how it is actually working and how you have to perform this experiment. Then truth table is mentioned here. You have to add the readings in this particular thing. First step is you have to connect this battery. This is the battery. It is the battery connected. You have to basically click on this battery. The power supply will be connected here. So I will just connect this particular power supply to here. So when I click on this battery, it will be connected. One message will be displayed here that is connected. Okay, so this is our first step. So always do that. And in any case, if you forgot that, then the message will be displayed. Message will be displayed that power battery is not connected to your circuit. Now currently this data input is taken as 0. On 0, we'll do, we'll send the data sequence as 0 1 0 1. So this data transmitted through this line serially. So first bit which we will transmit, it will be bit number this LSB, that is 1. So 1 0, it will transmit in this fashion. Okay, so first digit to transmit is 1, then 0 will be transmitted, then 1, and then 0. Okay, so first you have to press on this button on 1. Then once you do that, when you press this button as 1, I'm just doing that. Okay, please let me reload it one more. Okay, so see, such type of message box will be, or such type of message will be displayed that connect battery first. So since we have reloaded this particular page, so you have to connect it one more time. You have to press on OK. You have to connect the battery. So battery is connected. Now you have to keep this data input to 1. So this data input is, now it is 1. Okay, so you have pressed this switch on the one side. Now you have to simply give the clock, because without clock your circuit will not work. So you have to apply the clock here. So I am just clicking on this clock. So just observe the changes which are happening here along the Q3, Q2, Q1 and Q0. So if you observe, the Q3 will be, the LED of Q3 will be on. it is basically showing that this one, it is transmitted to Q3. So the transmission will be like this, that initially 1 will be transmitted, then 0, then 1, and then 0. Okay. So again, what I am doing now, my data input, next bit is 0. So what I have to do? I have to place this switch on 0. Now I have keep that data input on 0 because my next bit was 0. So once you do that, again you have to apply the clock. Okay, before that, this to the truth table, and when you press on the add, so the entry will be given to the truth table as well. Okay, so just remember that we are sending 0101 string. I will be erasing this for annotation one more time. Okay, we are sending 0101 sequence, and we have completed the first clock. So in the first, after the first clock, you can observe this first bit is transmitted to Q3. This first bit was transmitted to Q3. So the next bit is 0. So you have to keep this data input on 0, and you have to press on the clock signal one more time. So I'm pressing clock signal one more time. Then you can observe initially the Q3 was on, but now Q2 is on. So this 1 is shifted from Q3 to Q2, and this Q3 is now off. Why it is off? Because now we are transmitting the second bit, that is 0th bit, right? So now here it is 0 is 1, and these are 0 zeros of initial assumption. Okay, so again you can add this your truth table. So you can observe now data in is 0. First bit which we have sent, it was 1. Now data input is 0. So this 1 is shifted from Q3 to Q2, and this now new bit get loaded in the Q3. Next bit again, next bit is 1 passed through this circuit, 0 we have sent. Now the next is 1 bit is there. Okay, that is third bit. So now for that, what you have to do? You have to again press this data input. You have to keep this data input on 1, and then you have to apply the clock. So application of clock is very important. Without clock, your circuit will not work. So when I press the clock, just observe the change. Okay. You can observe now Q3 has become on and Q1 as well. So basically, the one which was earlier Q2 was on. So basically, the output gets shifted from Q2 to Q1. Now it becomes 1. This is 0. This is 1. So since we have transmitted 3 digits, all these 3 digits are now shifting in the registers in SIPO. So this you can clearly observe that this shift is in serial way. So input is nothing but you are giving input in serial fashion. Okay. So same thing again, I am adding it to the truth table. So you can observe first bit was 1, next bit was 0, and now next bit is again 1. And this sequence, now this one will end in the Q3. So Q3 will be always equivalent to data input because Q3 is nothing but D flip-flop only, right? And once your Q3 is set, so basically whichever is the value of Q3, it will simply shift towards Q2. The value of Q2 will be shift towards Q1 and so on. The final bit of ours is 0 sequence. That is our aim. So now next bit is 0. So you have to again keep this switch on 0. I kept this switch on 0, and now you have to apply the clock. So as soon as you have applied the clock, you can observe from here. Now Q2 and Q0 are LED. The status of LED Q2 and Q0 are now 1 1. That means this 0 is shifted in Q3 and 1 is shifted to Q1 Q2. 0 is again shifted to Q1 and it is 1. And same reading you can add in your truth table by simply clicking on add button. So when you do that, you can observe now our count is 0101. So if you observe this sequence, so this sequence was nothing but our input, our sequence. So sequence which we have given in the data input, so it goes serially into this register, but after the application of fourth clock pulse, you can select this input and the output terminals parallelly. So serial transmission along the input, but output is collected in parallel fashion. So this is nothing but serial in parallel out shift register. Okay, so this is the basically working of SIPO, 4-bit SIPO register. And once you have completed taking readings, taking or writing the readings, and then you can save your PDF. So in more settings, there are options. So like margins. So I have kept the margins to none. If you keep your margin to default, maybe half of it will be okay. So in this case, it is not problem. There is not problem. So you can keep it. You can customize this margin as per your requirement. Document you can store in the form of PDF. Okay. So this is regarding 4-bit serial in parallel out shift register. Have you understood it? If you are having any query, then you can ask me. Just let me know whether you understood both experiments which we have discussed today or not. So the important point is whichever sequence you are giving here on the data input, that sequence you have to apply one by one. Okay, so for example, our sequence is now 1111. So this one will be transmitted first and then second, third, fourth. So if one is there, then what you have to do? You have to keep this data input on 1. If it is 0, then you have to keep this data input on 0. Once you do that, you have to simply click on the clock. Then you can observe Q3 will become 1. I am again keeping this data input 1 only because I have 4 ones. I am transmitting 4 ones serially. I am keeping this data input as 1 only. And again I am clicking the clock. Q3, Q2 becomes 1 1. This LED is actually it is from our earlier sequence. Again I am clicking on the clock. So now you can observe all 4 outputs, that is Q3, Q2, Q1, Q0 are the LEDs of all 4 outputs are on. Okay. So that means whichever these 4 bits are transmitted serially and these are available at the output in parallel fashion. Okay, you can collect them all 4 outputs in parallel form. So in this way you have to perform this practical. If you are having any doubt in practical number, I think which we have practical number 7, this is 7 actually, and practical number 10th. Okay, so 7 is basically SIPO and 10th is 4-bit asynchronous counter user 4-bit. So if you are having any problem, then you can ask me. I will just wait couple of more minutes here. Those who are not having any problem, they can leave the meeting so that we will conclude our session here. So thank you. Is there any doubt? Let me know. So try to perform these experiments. So from this lab, actually, we have taken 6 to 7 experiments. I will just denote it one more time. I will mark them. First 3 we have taken, and then 6th, 7th, 9th, and partial. Okay. So total 7 experiments we have taken from lab. All right. So try to perform these practicals. If you are facing any difficulty, then you can ask me. Okay then. So we will conclude our today's session here. So thank you.